Everyone, this is Kimber with Moksha Yoga and Wellness. I wanted to share my story of how I came to find Ayurveda and my healing journey, both to tell you how important this work is and how near and dear it is to our hearts here, but also hopefully to inspire you with some hope that you can overcome chronic illnesses and you can overcome autoimmune diseases with the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda. So flashback to 2011, I was a junior in college and I got diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. So if you're not familiar, ulcerative colitis is chronic inflammation of the lining of your large intestine. So kind of like IBS, but 10 times worse. If you've ever heard of Crohn's disease, it's the same disease but in the small intestine instead of the large intestine. And so before college, I had a very wonderful childhood and great upbringing. My mom was a nurse and very steeped in Western medicine and was a single mom there for a while, raising my brother and I. And she did so many things well that I'm so eternally grateful for. But unfortunately, diet and healthy eating choices were not part of our repertoire as children. I, at this point in my life, just cringe to think about how many grams of sugar we were consuming every day. So that paired with my father, to this day, has undiagnosed gut conditions. And then the third piece, third time's the charm, about my junior year in college, I was under a significant amount of stress because of a death in my family. So it was really just the perfect storm for me to start showing symptoms of this disease, which is pretty common for most folks in their early 20s to be diagnosed. So my loving, wonderful mother, being who she is and wanting to help and wanting to heal, referred me to the best gastrointestinal doctors that she knew in the field, got all sort of tests and blood work and colonoscopies. They came to the diagnosis and they said, you're going to have yearly colonoscopies for the rest of your life. You're going to be on low-dose steroids for the rest of your life. And when I said, well, what about my bones? What about my gut microbacteria? What about all of these things that steroids wipe out? They said, oh, don't worry about it. You need those drugs. That's the only way to calm the inflammation. And they said, no matter what, even with the steroids, eventually I'd be cutting out the lower part of my colon, surgically removing part of my colon, because there would be a point where nothing we could do would stop the inflammation. And all of this kind of settled with me for a few days, following my mother's ideas of how we should treat, and it really just stopped me in my tracks, and I said, there has to be another way. And I was so grateful in college. I had a very close friend whose mother was certified in the GAPS diet, gut and psychology syndrome, which has been shown to be really, really helpful for folks with ADHD or autism, Asperger's, things like that. But I was using it just to heal my gut. And heal my gut it did through eating nothing but chicken soup for a month straight. So I was miserable, I was in college and had no social life. I was probably malnourished because I wasn't eating any sort of vegetables, just this chicken soup. But even though it wasn't sustainable, it was incredibly instrumental in that it revolutionized my relationship with food. And I really started to view food as a medicine. So I knew that I couldn't just go to eating nothing but chicken soup for a month every time that I had symptoms, but I knew I was onto something and that there had to be a way that I could harness the way I was eating to throw away those old, poor eating habits and start fresh with really nourishing my body in a way that it could heal itself. So around 2014, I saw an ad for the Ayurveda Summit. I watched a bunch of the talks and interviews and webinars, and I was instantly hooked. You're telling me there's a personalized medical system that is shown to overcome autoimmune diseases that is solely based in digestion? Ayurveda says that the root of all our health comes from our digestion. So if what we're eating and how we're eating and the timing of our food can be adjusted for our own individual constitution, we will experience vibrant health. I said, I'm all in, where do I sign? Flash forward to now, so I'm 9 years post-diagnosis and I am off all pharmaceutical drugs. I haven't had a colonoscopy in 7 years and I'm symptom-free. You would never know that I was diagnosed with this disease. It doesn't impact my daily life. It's not even part of my identity anymore. It's hard to remember that that is something that I used to deal with. And all of that is thanks to Ayurveda. So that's my success story, and that's just one story that I put a lot of faith in and a lot of hope in, but that can be your story too. And we really want that to be. We want you to experience the greatest amount of thrive and body integrity that you can. So check out our website, mokshayogasandwellness.org, and we'll get you more information on how you can have the same success story that I did. Thanks so much.